Norse pagan, and this is Walking with the Old Gods. And what I'm going to do on this video is on Wednesday or Wotan's Day, what I do to honor Odin the Allfather is I study a rune. And remember in the lore, Odin the Allfather hung on the Yggdrasil for 9 days. No one offered him meat, no one offered him a horn. He sacrificed himself to himself, and he brought us the knowledge of the holy Rune. So to honor him on Wednesdays, I do study the runes. And with today's study, the rune I pulled was Ansuz. This is Ansuz. And up here, this is Ansuz. Ansuz has the A sound. Ansuz is in Freyr's Et. There are 3 Ets, or clans, or sets of runes. And remember in the lore, Freyr and Freya, after the war between the Aesir and the Vanir, they exchanged hostages. And Freyr and Freya, the twins of the Vanir gods, they went to the Aesir, and eventually the Aesir adopted them in. So with Freyr's Zet, Freyr deals with the being a fertility god with basic existence on earth, experiencing and interacting with other humans, and as well as the divine, and also for living a fulfilling life. So in this study, this is Ansuz. This is from my rune set. Right there, that's Ansuz. And like with my last video, I do have a set of rune cards that I use for visualization to look at the pictures and get a visualization of what that rune would mean. And this is the rune card for Ansuz. And you'll see on the card, you'll see Odin the Allfather, and you'll see his 2 ravens, Hugin and Munin. And you can see that there appears to be a storm, but the clouds are breaking and the sun is shining in. So, again, remember in the lore, when Odin the Allfather created the first 2 humans, Oska and Embla, he breathed in his breath and gave them life. And the rune Ansuz means Odin. It's a representative of Odin. Because of the breath coming from the mouth, the rune Ansuz is also associated with communication, and of course, Odin being the Allfather in his quest for wisdom and knowledge, it's associated with wisdom, divine power, a message. Now, when I pulled this rune again, I got it reversed. I get a lot of runes reversed. And with the reverse meaning of Ansuz, as Odin being the Allfather, the reverse would be Loki. And again, with it meaning communication and messages, Loki was a trickster god. So this can mean misinformation, deceit, trickery, false information, false messages. And again, this has something to do, reverse, with something that's actually affecting my life. I work in the social service field, and of course, with my occupation, the agencies I work with were all affected by the COVID-19. There's a lot of agencies that have been closed for a long time. There's umpteen changes. Yeah, with one agency you'll get this information, you'll get this information, you'll get this information. And there's one agency that I've been working closely with, and there's a lot of Um, different information that comes from around this agency. And it can get frustrating trying to, you know, work with the clients I work with, and then there's this change and that's change. And that's what really hit me. Ansuz reverse would refer to that, would refer to the miscommunication, a breakdown of communication. That's exactly how I felt. I wouldn't know how to put it any different. There's some rune poems I like to read for Ansuz. There's an Old English rune poem. The mouth is the source of the word, bringing wisdom and counsel to the wise, hope, inspiration, and a blessing to all. And there is a Norwegian rune poem for Ansuz. Rivermouth opens most journeys, but the sword belongs in its sheath. And an Icelandic rune poem. Odin is the ancient creator, and Asgard's king, and lord of Valhalla. And again, with Ansuz referring to Odin, remember Odin's eternal quest for wisdom and knowledge to help delay Ragnarok. He sacrificed his eye for a drink from Ymir's well to gain the wisdom and the knowledge that he needed. And in the Lay of Sigdrifa, Sigdrifa was a Valkyria, and there were two kings fighting, Helm Gunnar, and the other was Aegner. Now, Odin had pledged the victory to Helm Gunnar, but no one wanted to help Aegner, and Sigdrifa the Valkyria went on her own will, and she felled Helm Gunnar, which obviously infuriated Odin the Allfather, and he stuck Sigdrifa the Valkyria with a sleep thorn, saying that she would never again gain victory in battle, and that she must marry on Midgard. In that lay, in that Edda, then Sigurd came, and with his sword Grom, he saw a person in armor, and he used his sword Grom and cut the armor, the corset off, and realized that it was a fair, beautiful woman, and that again was Sigdrifa. And Sigdrifa, of course, had being a Valkyria, had knowledge and news from every world, and Sigurd wanted to know that knowledge, and she passed a lot on in that lay. It's a really good story. It's a good Edda, the Lay of Sigdrifa, and I'd like to read a verse out of that. Word runes learn ye well, if thou wilt no man pay back. Grief for the grief gavest. Win thou these, cast thou these, all about thee, at the thing where folk throng until the doom faring. And as I talked on my other video, every rune has a negative and a positive, and even when you turn it reversed, because with the runes, what they do is they tap into the Norn's web of weird. Remember, there's Earther, Verthonda, and Skald. Earther is the past Norn, Verthonda is the present, and Skald is the future. And the future isn't quite woven yet. You know, there's a lot of fact. It was amazing how our ancient ancestors, how much knowledge they had about this. There are things that are really complex that they, with our lore and their concept of the divine. So you have Frith, which is the peace that you make, and then you have Orlog, which is like karmic fate. You know, if Someone is a fisherman, their oarlog would be, they would probably be out to sea. So a lot of your frith and your oarlog has to do with your fate in the web of weird. So again, having a rune reversed gives you an insight of what's going on if it is a negative, and then you will know what you would need to do to change that. And in this case, with me and the situation I explained, I just kind of need to go with what everyone says, and I don't know how else to say it. It is what it is. It is what it is. So there are positives and negatives with every rune. And this is a positive. Even though it's a negative, it's a positive because now I know what's going on, and with an understanding of the different communications and the breakdown of communications because of the COVID-19 and the agencies that I work with. So I hope you found something positive out of this video. Again, I sure enjoy making them, and I'm really looking forward to putting some more out. And again, thank you so much for watching.